to get it on the screen.
Sorry, that's my fault.
Okay. Okay. My question was, should medical marijuana be legalized? And then for the introduction, I basically just gave the definition of marijuana, which is a psychoactive, mind-altering drug usually consumed or smoked. Basically, all it means is can enhance certain hormones, feelings, and emotions, and then the mind-altering part, like basically how you perceive things. Like if you see something, the way it makes you feel may like not be how it usually happens when you're sober. This is just a picture of like the areas it affects, and you can't really read how it affects them, but it basically just talks about the different ways it enhances it and how it makes you feel different than normal. More introduction, marijuana hasn't even always been illegal. In 1937, the first time marijuana was legal, it was because it can cause men of color to become violent and solicit sex from white women. Of course, this was deemed unconstitutional just because it's wrong, and it was put under the Controlled Substances Act to get rebanned. Benefits in the medical field, marijuana is like most frequently used in subsequent of like painkillers, like opioids. We have a huge problem with that in Salt Lake. I feel like that would be one of the good benefits for having it here. But basically just better for your body. It's not an addictive drug to get hooked on, so you won't need to go to the street to look for other things that'll hurt you. This reason and more basically just became legal in 33 out of 50 states, and it's rapidly increasing. That's just a picture. Obviously it's a joke, but it says, "Don't think of me as a weed dealer, think of me as Lil Pharma." And it's a joke, but I think the point they're trying to get across is like, they don't view it as an illegal drug. They view it as seriously like a medical. Wow, this is fucking yeah, basically they're just kind of saying that like they don't really view it as dealing drugs like that. They view it as helping people. The opposing side, mainly the arguments against it, is people believe it's a gateway drug that leads to different types of drugs. And it is also perceived to make you lazy and slow. For that argument, for makes you lazy and slow, it's actually like the main use of medical marijuana and the purpose. It can slow down a lot of parts of your body, and it can relax your muscles and your stress levels. And then there's also no actual hard research that shows people that smoke marijuana lead to doing other harder drugs. There's different types. Obviously, there's a lot more than this, but this basically just tells you like the different uses and how it works. So like sativa, I guess, just tells you that it's more like for your head, and it's kind of like an energetic experience. And then indica is used for like nighttime. It's kind of calming, soothing. Yeah, and then there's a video about a doctor helping senior citizens with medical marijuana. Okay. Bro, come on.
Refresh it.
Sorry, I can't click the button and it's not loading.
It's an ad.
Okay, I guess we're just gonna watch the ad.
Steve, I got an alert one.
Want a better credit card? We got you. From the best rates to the best rewards. For all your credit card questions, turn to the next. Hi, everybody.
For this group of elderly Americans, using marijuana was definitely not on their bucket list.
I have never smoked in my life. I'm 100.
What's in each dozen? Dr. Zachary Palace of the Hebrew Home in New York thinks maybe it's time for a change.
This is uncharted territory.
Ready to go back for lunch?
98-year-old Ruth Braun is in constant and extreme pain from neuropathy. She started using medical marijuana 3 months ago.
Well, I do know that since I'm using it and taking it, that I have less pain, that I'm more relaxed.
Less pain, less stress, and a reduction in her daily dosage of a powerful opioid. Do you see a difference?
I see a big difference. She has several doses of morphine, but we were able to back it off one so far
Really?
throughout the day.
Older adults that are in their 80s and 90s grew up where marijuana was really viewed as an illicit drug, the evil weed.
Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell.
And yet, we find that they're very open to anything that's going to reduce pain.
We always have to be careful.
Dr. Pallas is impressed with the results he's seen so far in a handful of patients. But
We need to rethink our current policies in terms of allowing medical research on medical cannabis.
and as for the stigma,
Oh,
the
sorry,
evil
that's
weed,
why.
I saw no reason why it wouldn't work, because God gave us the herbs of the earth, and the marijuana is one of them.
Harry Smith, NBC News, New York.
Okay, it's just a video about it, and that video kind of talks. Okay, so that video, that's kind of my point of this whole article, or this whole presentation, and my essay was the fact that it's been viewed as something completely different than it ever has been, and a lot of doctors, and like even that was a Jewish healthcare center, which I mean they're very hard against drugs. So just like seeing the society change and like people's beliefs adjust to something new is, I think we should like pursue that, especially because of how much help like that. You saw the old lady that was taking opioids. It's actually the #1 killer in Utah is opioids, and then people going to the street because they have nothing better else to take. So I think that's one of the really good purposes of medical marijuana. And then there's my works cited, but that's pretty much my opinion and what the facts are. Yeah.
Do you like marijuana? Don't answer that question. Let's not ask anybody. Yes, or no. Other questions?
Yeah, what's up?
Do you think it'll ever be like recreational marijuana will ever be like legal statewide, like throughout the whole United States?
I hope so, just because of all the benefits, and like there's a lot of states right now. It's rapidly increasing. I think it's increasing at like a ridiculous rate of all the marijuana being legalized in places. So I do think eventually, I mean, there's a lot of, this is gonna sound wrong, but the older generation is the main problem with marijuana right now, especially just because it's how they were raised. And I think a lot of that has to go away. Like a lot of those beliefs and misconceptions need to go away. And more research needs to be done to prove to people until we get to that point.
So you know how there's like an age restriction on
Yeah.
alcohol? Do you think that there should be one on medical marijuana?
No, not for medical, for recreational. I mean, they have it at 21 right now in every recreational state. But for medical, I don't think there should be any reason to have it like that, because they actually are using medical marijuana in kids and finding a lot of success in using it. So not for medical. Yes.
Do you think that the legalization of like medical marijuana should be linked to recreational, or should it just like be the case?
For right now, I think, so Arizona just actually had one this last year and they missed recreational by 1 vote, but they kept medical. So for now, I would say I think it's better to keep them separated to get like the logical part of your side thinking, rather, for like the logical help of medical, and then obviously the rest is more opinion for recreational. So I think they should stay separated for now, until people become open-minded about it.
Last question.
How do other countries look at marijuana?
Actually, a lot of other countries have it legalized and don't have any bans on it at all. Reason for this is pretty much what I just talked about, is they find a lot of benefits, and they were having more problems with having something like Amsterdam. They were having more problems with people trying to do other stuff, like getting fake stuff from the street or buying just bad products. So they just made it 100% legal. There's no charge for it or anything, and they're having a lot better success rates with it and less crime.
Thank you.